Why in the world would you start a game with the intention to either have fun or win and play support and pick Ultron and Rocket? Why in the world would you start the game as DPS, see that you guys have one tank, the other team has two tanks, and you don't switch? Let me take it out of that. The other team has one tank, you have one tank, so you go, screw it, I'm not gonna give my team a massive advantage by having another tank. I'm just gonna keep doing what I do because, well, that's how I play. You know why that happens? Lack of adaptation. And hi, I'm Nerfpool, the Deadpool variant that talks about video games and stuff. And if you're new to these Let's Yap sessions, well, they don't have my usual heavy-duty, amazing, entertaining, engagement-optimized editing, but they're just more like solo podcasts where I talk about a specific topic that grinds my gears or makes me really happy. So go ahead, take your phone, slide it into your back pocket and go for a walk, or just put me on another screen while you're hard stuck in silver. Either way, it's good for me. Now, back to the topic of adaptation. See, I am okay with so many things that I can't control in this game. I can't control people's positioning. I can't control their mechanical skill, their aim, their cooldown management. I can't control any of that, nor would I want to. I don't feel like I'm that good of a player where I can give advice to everybody and it's beneficial, so that's okay. What is not okay is the inability of some players to recognize that adaptation is actually more important than anything else. Adaptation for myself as well as for my team is really the determining factor of whether I have fun in a game or not. I'm gonna take this completely away from winning and losing for a second. I don't care about ranking up or deranking or anything like that. I don't care about EOMM, the matchmaking, how it's designed. I don't care about that. All I care about, the reason I'm in this game to begin with, is to have fun. I want to be competitive, I want to win if possible, but ultimately it's all in the direction of fun. When this game first came out, it got advertised as a fun hero shooter. The whole reason why I never got into Overwatch or Counter-Strike or any of those games is because I just felt like they're too sweaty, they're too rigid. I don't belong in those communities. So here comes a game that's colorful, with fantastic sound design, really great visuals. Each and every hero felt wacky. It was a Marvel entity, so obviously that's a good thing. Good stuff. Then you jump into ranked or competitive. In this case, they call it competitive. They don't even call it ranked. And you end up in these situations where you can't even play the game. What I'm talking about is something that everybody is dealing with right now. Probably, as we all got deranked and now it's just a soup of all kinds of skill sets in one place. You'd start a game and you'd have two healers, both of which have no burst healing. Now, I'm cool with people playing whatever they want to play. Go nuts. This is a video game at the end of the day. It's not that serious. Do whatever you want, but also think. If you play Rocket and another person plays Ultron, what does that mean? No burst healing. What does that mean? In situations where you get bursted down very quickly, you go behind cover and ping for healing, these guys can't set you up quickly enough, which means that you just have to kind of sit there, take up all of their attention, which is bad because maybe they need to focus on multiple people, and you just kind of wait for the orbs to get you or for Ultron to notice that you're low, so he puts his drone only on you because he can't heal more than one person at a time, and then you go back in, and maybe you get bursted down again because there's already too much pressure, and we go again, and we rinse and repeat. Nothing about that game loop is fun to me. The scenario I just gave you is actually a good scenario. In this one, you actually survive. In many other ones, you die. Not because they're bad healers, not because your positioning was awful, just because the kind of healing that they do isn't suitable for this kind of match. So when you're presented as a support player with this kind of challenge where you also see that your healing just doesn't do it, and you don't switch, and you don't adapt, and you don't do something different, that is essentially, to me, throwing of some sort of way. Now we can't play the game, or we have to come up with some insane creative play to make up for the lack of healing or something that's just not fun. We have to wait out the clock. We have to waste 10, 15 minutes of our day because you don't want to switch, because you don't want to try another character, because you don't want to problem solve in a way that's actually efficient. Let's take this out of the supports and take it into the tanks. I know that tanks are struggling this season as well as last season. There's a lot of solo tanking going on, and that's really unfortunate. But when you're facing a flyer comp or a dive comp, and you're playing something like Thor, and you don't switch and you don't adapt, you're failing in your role. You're making it less fun for the others. You have a BP in your backline, you have a Magic, you have an Iron Man and an Ultron flying around. Do something about it. There are certain heroes that have some ability to deal with this. They just gave Thing an ability to deal with this. Aren't you playing tank for the sole reason of being kind of the presence on the battlefield, being the general, leading the charge, protecting your team against damage, shielding them in some different ways, peeling for them? That's the value and the joy in being a tank, isn't it? I main tank. The reason I love tank so much is because I get to protect my team in a different way. Do you know how satisfying it is to bubble Cloak and Dagger in her ult while there's another Magneto trying to take her out with his ult? It's amazing! Actually, every time I bubble someone else and it saves their life is incredible. It feels like I'm adding so much value to the team. When there's someone in our backline or someone flying around and I switch to Thing, take him out of the sky and just help us kill that person or peel for my team, it feels great. It feels like I'm adding value. It feels like I'm making everybody's life better. That feels good. I don't understand how other tanks don't do this, because you main this one character and you're trying to one-trick this one character. You just want to do what? Just get kills? Is that your dopamine fix? Is that even that fun? If you're a support and you see your team dying, doesn't that feel horrible to you? Your whole purpose of existing is to make sure that they don't die in certain situations, so you're gonna play a support that is not efficient at doing the very thing that is supposed to give you the most pleasure and joy out of the game. Are you crazy? Don't even get me started on DPS. The whole reason that role exists is to put on pressure, to get final hits, to get kills, and yet sometimes they don't do that. And that's okay. It's okay if you're not getting kills. It's okay if you're struggling, but then problem solve, my guy. If you have a bunch of flyers and you're playing a character that struggles to deal with them, how cool would it be if you switched to a hit scan, got back into the field and started zeroing these motherfuckers? It feels amazing. Adaptation feels better than getting kills. Adaptation means actual problem solving. It means that you're actually using your brain in this video game, and it's the best thing ever. And the fact that the majority of the player base, at least in my ranks, is not doing it is insane. What makes me feel even worse is that sometimes it feels like I'm the only one adapting. We'll start off the game with a single tank and I'll be a second support and I'll be pinging and talking about how we need a second tank. It's going to improve our chances. Let's do it. It's going to be more fun that way. Nobody does it. In which case, I am now faced with a really tough choice, which is either we go out with one tank, or I have to switch the tank, which wouldn't be smart, or do something else. A lot of times I'm trying to go Rocket just because I want to relax and play something dumb simple, but now because of the situation, I'm going to go to Luna, which is my support main. And as Luna, now I have to do so much more work in order to just keep everybody alive and make sure that everybody's doing well. Maybe my other support is also not adaptable, so they went with something like an Ultron, which to me is just dog shit healer. Now I have to do all these different things, and none of that is fun. Yeah, there's a little bit of fun to the fact that I adapted and I'm keeping my team alive, but it's a thankless job. The most fun I have in the game is when we more or less operate as a unit and we kind of support each other and there's a little bit of cohesion between the roles because it's a team-based game. It feels really good when it's team-based. It doesn't feel that good when it's just solo. That's why I made this whole video about the myth of carrying and how I don't believe it exists. Well, I mean, it exists, but it's difficult for most people. And even if I could do it, it's not fun for me. I want to play as a unit. I want some community. I want to go in together and achieve something together, not just by myself. So when I'm the only one that's adapting and trying to change and trying to communicate and to ping, it just feels like a very, very lonely place. And that's where a lot of my disappointment lately has been with Marvel Rivals. I still enjoy the game. I love the shit out of it, by the way, but I'm disappointed that it's become more of a lonely place in-game. Nobody pings, nobody texts, nobody even emojis much anymore. I have a feeling that everybody's just muted themselves because of this toxicity issue that we've been having, and they're just like, you know what, guys, I'm just gonna play this character, I'm gonna mute, because that's what YouTube said I should do, and then have fun, I'm just chilling. One of the big advantages of a team-based game versus a solo game like a Tekken or Brawlhalla or Street Fighter is the fact that you get to be with other people and accomplish something together. But it doesn't feel like that's what we're doing. No one's adapting, no one's respecting the other teammates, no one's adapting to the map or to their team or to the environment or to the current situation, so it doesn't feel like a team game. It feels like 6 randos doing something randomly. But regardless, I have to remind myself that I can't control people, and I'm never going to, nor do I want to. I would make them do terrible things. So I'm gonna continue to be the change in the world that I wish I could see, and I'm gonna continue adapting, and I'm gonna continue trying to add value to whatever team comp I'm in, because sometimes you do end up with a really nice team, and it feels really amazing that I didn't approach that team with a negative mindset. So all I'm gonna do moving forward in this season and beyond is keep being adaptable, and I urge you to do the same thing. Keep using my brain, figure out what is the best way to solve this particular problem that we're having and spot it in the first place, and try to do it in a way in which I'm having fun while it's being competitive and also honoring the game design too. But enough of my sexy, perfect radio voice. I want to hear your opinion. Drop a comment below, why don't you? Share a story with the group of a time where someone didn't adapt. Let's rage together, man. Let's get angry. Yeah, engagement, rage bait. It works, subscribers. Dominate the world. Yes, baby. Oh, and don't forget, you guys, maximum snarkiness allowed, minimum toxicity preferred.